I went from a fresh max cape with nothing to 3 whole mega rares and nearly fully max gear. With the big 3 mega rares out of the way, I can start working towards something else. Something different. A Zuck helmet. Welcome to my freshly max to fully max series. This time, adding in the Grandmaster combat achievements. Let's delve into the new boss, the Doom of Makado, or commonly known as the Delve boss. This was a brand new boss released last Wednesday that is wave based. There are no current combat achievements, but that doesn't matter. This boss has insanely good drops. There are 3 uniques. First, an Eye of Ayak. This is a new staff that has 3 ticks and very similar to the DPS of a shadow. As someone who spent 70 purples for a shadow, this doesn't matter for us personally as the shadow wins, but it is a great alternative for other accounts. This is the first mage weapon that is good without being a mega rare. Secondly, now diving into the stuff we want, the Makado cloth. This cloth can be used to make Fletching gauntlets, a tormented bracelet upgrade that gives 7% damage, a 2% upgrade over the old tormented brace. In case you didn't know, the way the shadow works is that it gives 3 times the magic bonus. So when using this bracelet with the shadow, the 2% is actually a 6% damage buff. A very good upgrade for us. Finally, the last good drop from here, the Avernic Treads. I call these the Giga Boots, as they allow you to combine the 3 best in slot boots together in one, and essentially never need a boot swap anywhere ever again. Then on top of that, they also give more strength bonus for each style. An extra 1 strength for melee, 1 strength for magic, which is actually 3% with the shadow, and most importantly, a plus 3 range strength bonus for ranged. This is massive because it's the first time ever that we have ranged boots that give strength bonus. Previously, Pegasians only had accuracy in them, which almost made them useless. Most of the time, prayer boots would be better than them. The more I talk about this out loud, the faker it sounds. Plus 3% magic damage because of the shadow, plus 3 range strength, and 1 melee strength, all in one slot. It sounds fake. Let's jump into the grind so we can maybe see them for ourselves. This is my first KC, so I have no idea what I'm doing or even a proper setup. But we know this, Delve is a wave based boss. This is level 1 that we are currently on. After it's dead, we delve into level 2, etc. The mechanics progressively get harder as we go on. Additionally, every time we delve into a new level, we risk our loot. If we die, we lose it. First wave of level 1, we got a Waystone, which is technically a clog, but it's just a teleport here, so it shouldn't be too rare. Basically, we can risk it. One thing I really like about this boss is the T-bow is finally best in slot. A lot of the places that a T-bow is really good at, it's usually outshined by a shadow. But finally, this new boss, Delve, range gear and T-bow is best in slot. You can also use a Scorching Bow if you don't have a T-bow yet, which is second best in slot, but quite noticeably worse than the mega rare T-bow. So far, from my first run, it seems pretty straightforward. Simply flick prayers accordingly to what color they are and attack the boss. They did say the early 4s should be roughly the same difficulty as CG, and I think I can agree on that, as I have to flick prayers within 1 tick sometimes. This was also the first time I realized I was supposed to hit the boss with melee. Instead, I tanked a 60 to the face. This is why it's a good thing we pack Yak Bruise and camp high HP. Same attempt, it turned on Prey Range and Mage again, and I was overwhelmed by the attacks, which meant I missed my melee hit. Now, after dying to this, I finally learned. This will surely not happen again. Next attempt, actually prepared for melee this time. Level 3 complete. Obviously no drops yet as expected. Shockingly though, 502 cannonballs for only level 1 to 3 is kind of good as an Iron Man. Oh well, we're here for uniques, not cannonballs. We also learned while banking last trip that we don't actually need a purging staff, so I swapped that out for a Slayer's staff, which can auto-cast Demon Bane spells. And we need a Scorching Bow to one-shot the ranged scarabs on 4-4, and the Emberlight to one-shot the melee ones. Because the Slayer staff can auto-cast Demon Bane, that works. In other words, we do not need 3 synapses. My first 4-4 completion, and not gonna lie, since the loot is trash, there's just no reason to not keep going. First 4 or 5 completion. I got a Spirit Seed, which is cool because it's a seed pack, but still, we have to delve deeper. Floor 6 is where things start to get kind of intense and hard. There's a lot going on at once, especially for a first time. Between having to melee, flick the meatball attacks, kill the scarabs, everything. Every time at 75% HP on floor 4 and above, he enters Scobo phase. This means we have to use our Scorching Bow against him and kill the scarabs when near him to remove his shield. This gives us time to breathe, brew up, etc. The hard part about floor 6 is that after this phase, he turns into a Roomba. During Roomba phase, he charges, cleans, shoots attacks, slams the floor, does just about everything to ensure you do not see the next level. Man, that was so hard. I don't even think I got to attack the boss because I was just brewing the whole time. It took a few attempts to get used to it, but eventually, the Roomba phase ended up being a blessing. While he's a Roomba, we have 100% accuracy, which means we do damage. This is very important to utilize so that we have to deal with less mechanics later on. And because we attacked during all of that Roomba phase without brewing, here's our first wave 6 completion. The loot is absolute trash. It's looking like the meta is going to be to keep pushing higher waves until you either see a unique or die. Wave 7 is pretty much exactly like Wave 6, slightly faster attacks, and the Scobo phase is also a bit more intense as there's more stuff to kill, but overall it doesn't seem too bad. Unfortunately, I think I panicked a bit too hard during the Roomba phase and spent so long trying to find safety behind boulders instead of attacking him. So he fully charged and one-shot me. How unfortunate though, that kill was so close, I just had to remember to attack him. At this rate, we can probably consistently get to and complete floor 7.
What? I got hit on the same tick.
People are starting to talk about drop rates, and it would seem that the cloth can be dropped from level 2 and above, the staff from level 3 and above, and the boots from level 4 and above. Of course, it makes sense to assume that the rates are better as you go up, which goes back to what I said earlier. We just keep delving in until we die. Even if we die on wave 7, we still rolled the chance to get any drops from floor 2 to 6. It's not necessarily bad. After about 7 hours of dying, running back and forth, getting chances at loot but to no avail, we completed our first level 7. Delve technically caps at level 8, that's what counts as a completion. Afterwards, you can go infinitely longer, risking your loot along the way, but level 9 plus are just extra, an endurance test plus challenge for people who are good at the game. Technically, it would be better to grind level 9 plus if you have supplies, since we can assume it rolls the same drop chance as level 8, if not better. But anyway, let's focus on our first completion first. 102 HP, 3 brew doses, and 4 hard foods. Good luck. Oh my god, already 2 HP, that is insane. Remember what I said earlier, the Scobo phase is our time to breathe, eat up, heal, restart. No! I made so many dumb mistakes and I still only had 15 HP left. I was so close to one and done. That was enough for day 1. I went to bed after that and logged in the next morning ready for my first completion. Dying my first wave 4 definitely looked promising. I'm bad, I die a lot. It's okay though, because we still roll uniques for earlier waves. We did a small setup change. Since we basically were not using a spec weapon previously, I started bringing a blowpipe to heal when I make silly mistakes, especially early waves. Secondly, it has been learned that when Doom prays range and magic, there's extra damage based off how many hit spots. Since the scythe has 3 hit spots, I basically deal a guaranteed plus 40 damage every time I poke Doom with it. Finally, another attempt at wave 8. Here we go. Oh yeah, I was just so focused on the scarabs and the meatballs that I forgot to poke him with my scythe. It just wasn't even close. The good news, we are getting to wave 8 a lot now. Here's another attempt at it. I can redeem myself. An immediate repeat of last attempt. This time I had a hit with my scythe, I remembered, and I immediately swapped to 6 prayers. We were in good shape. Don't worry though, because as soon as I do all of that right, he does yet another pray mage in range and 2 meatball throws. This is just insane, I can't do it. Small skilling update for you guys, 98 mil range XP, that's something. Wave 8 almost every single time now, and every single time it's a death. Thank God we're at least having a chance for a drop at wave 2 to 7. Death. Another wave 8 death. Things are starting to look grim. I was getting depressed, the only thing keeping me going is knowing that I still have a chance at drops. Do I want a wave 8 completion? Absolutely. The wave is just so challenging for me though. The back-to-back meatballs, everything else, it's so much. What's a cloth? Is that good? I just saw it. Yo, that's the bracelet? That was wave 2, by the way. You guys heard that correctly. We got a wave 2 bracelet upgrade. The earliest wave it's possible on. That is some insane luck. I was excited to upgrade it, but because I'm currently not using magic, and I need 10,000 demon tears to make the upgrade, which I do not have, I jumped right back in, feeling mentally great, motivated, and ready for my first wave 8 completion. Oh my god! That was a DPS check. It's done. That took me way longer than I ever could have imagined. About 15 to 16 hours of planking over 2 days. We got our first wave 8 completion. Now, we simply just keep doing the same thing. We already saw a drop on wave 2. I don't really care about the new wand because I have a shadow. However, I just need to keep sending as many levels as possible until I see those giga boots. Not long after that completion, I got off for the night and we were now entering day 3. I was ready and motivated. I decided I'd keep doing 4 8s and maybe even delve deeper. As I said earlier, it only makes sense to keep risking the loot since it's so bad anyway. We will leave once we see a good drop. Oh my god, the boots! A wave 4, the minimum wave boot drop. We are literally little Timmy, struggling with content, getting spooned the earliest waves possible. This is such a relief. I got the 2 items I needed the most. I am actually done here. On one hand, I did really enjoy the mechanics of this boss. I found it very challenging in a fun way. On the other, struggling with it was not so great on the mental. So while it was fun, it was also upsetting. 100% skill issue based. That left us with one final issue. Demon tiers to charge our items. I explained earlier that the Tormented Bracelet upgrade required 10k tiers. I need all 3 of the boots to be added to Avernic Treads, each costing 4k. So we need a total of 12k tiers for the boots and 10k for the bracelet. This was our final log, ending with only 6.7k tiers out of the 22k. This was no big deal though, because we were done with the boss. The woodcutting method is sick. We can chop demon tiers, which are obviously stackable, and occasionally we chop a log which eventually fills our inventory. I believe this log is RNG, but I can tell you guys this, at the very least with the log basket, it is at minimum 25 minutes of AFK. I've done multiple full 25-minute AFK logout sessions and not had a full inventory yet. It's about 750 tiers an hour to chop, but given that we can do it in our sleep, while at the store, eating, anything, I'm going to be finishing off the rest of my tiers this way. When we do eventually get a full inventory plus log basket, we have a couple options. If we are at the PC, we can quickly drop the entire inventory plus log basket and then go back to AFKing for 25 minutes. Or if we are on mobile, and we cannot be bothered to drop because it's annoying, we can simply just use a knife on the logs to make arrow shafts for 1 minute, and then go back to chopping for 25. It is very easy. I did also go out of my way the last couple days during the delve grind to try out the new Fletching minigame, Fletching Tot. I didn't hate the method itself, but it was very strange with Redwood specifically. The idea is to travel around Auburnvale and fletch 8 totems, making the shape of the animals around each one. Overall, this part of the method I enjoyed and found very chill. The part I didn't like about this method, and that I've only heard was an issue with Redwoods, is that there is an insane amount of downtime each lap. After teleporting from the 8th totem, I'd bank at Craft Guild and teleport back, then have to wait about 1.5 minutes for the totems to reset. I've heard of people just downgrading to magic logs to green log this minigame as they reset quicker. However, I decided to just do it passively with Redwoods. I would do a Fletch Tot run, and then a Birdhouse run, and then another Fletch Tot run, and then a Herb run, and then another Fletch Tot run, and yeah, you get my point. The minigame wasn't efficient XP or anything, I was only doing it for the new knife, and maybe to green log it since I somewhat enjoyed it and it wasn't long anyway. The knife is insanely good though. It lets you cut any log, including to arrow shafts, 1 tick faster than normal. After about a day of doing a couple runs every couple hours when I wanted a break from delve, I had 9k offerings to open for a chance at a knife. Every search on this pile is a chance at the knife. I don't know the drop rates, but alongside of it is also Veil research points, which we can use to buy the knife should we go dry. Oh, fletching knife. Sweet. The fletching knife was pretty sweet. The time spent actually running around for the totems, including rebanking, was about 450k an hour fletching XP. Pretty decent, but not grindable long term since you can only do it for about 40 minutes an hour. If you just AFK'd each lap, I think it would be about 300k an hour. I enjoyed the minigame overall, so I decided to do one more day of it to finish off the green log. After all, I'm an Iron Man. I still have to do the Birdhouse and Herb runs, what's an extra 4 minutes for the Fletch Tot run. 13k offerings on day 3, and immediately clogged a Green Man mask. This is the more expensive clog in the shop and it's just a cosmetic, but it basically confirms we're green logged. On our very last search of that batch, we got one more mask. I made my way to the shop to buy the very last item in the clog, the bowstring spool. I have no idea what this does, nor do I care because I will probably never find myself using bowstrings in this account, so I'm good to just forget about it forever. That is now Fletching Tot complete, and to wrap it up, we've AFK'd enough demon tiers to have Delve also complete. Not the clog, but at least for a future PVM grind, we have the boots that we will legit never not use because they are best to slot in every single piece of content, and an upgraded Torn Brace. This is a great point to end today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all next time. Peace. Peace out.